Welcome back to the program. So, could it be popping off in Iran very, very soon? Well, that is certainly a possibility because we are putting a lot of firepower that is heading to Iran right now. And President Trump was asked about it, and this is what he had to say. Hopefully, the recording comes out pretty good.
You know, we have a lot of ships going that direction, just
We have a lot of ships going in that direction.
in case. We have a big flotilla going in that direction, and we'll see what happens. It's a big force. We have a big force going toward Iran. I'd rather not see anything happen, but we're watching them very closely. I saw 837 hangings on Thursday. They would have been dead. Every one of them would have been hung. This is like from 1,000 years ago. This is an ancient culture. Very smart people, by the way, but it's an ancient culture. 837, mostly young men, were going to be hung on Thursday. And I said, if you hang those people, you're going to be hit harder than you've ever been hit. It'll make what we did to your Iran nuclear look like peanuts. And an hour before this horrible thing was going to take place, they canceled it. And they actually said they canceled it. They didn't postpone it. They canceled it. So that was a good sign. But we have an Armada. We have a massive fleet heading in that direction. And maybe we won't have to use it. We'll see.
So he's got a full armada heading that direction. Now, I've already told you on numerous occasions, they may not have hung 837 people publicly to humiliate them before their deaths, but that doesn't mean that they're not continuing. The IRGC, the mullahs are ordering the IRGC to kill these protesters. And not just that, but to go into the hospitals and to kill them on their gurneys, to go into different locations and towns where some of these protesters are hiding out and blowing up their homes with them inside it. These are the stories that are coming out of Iran from a lot of different sources inside Iran that we're hearing about in obviously news that's not being reported on the mainstream media prostitute news. And so I would trust these Iranians inside. I would trust these Iranian doctors who literally have seen patients be blown away in front of them. And so, I don't know, the death toll, according to those doctors, and this was like a week ago, right? Maybe 4 or 5 days ago, was 16,511. So that was a week and a half ago. What do you think it is now? We don't know, because it's so hard to get information that is accurate out of Iran. But clearly, I have been told by some sources that it's already eclipsed 20,000. And that was only a couple of days ago. So what is it now? 22,000, 23,000, 24,000, 25,000? We don't know. So what it sounds like to me is that it's possible that they took some time to allow Israel maybe to get their people in place, if you will, and to maybe do some counter measures and things like that. But we got to do something. This regime cannot stand, okay? It cannot stand much longer. Now, what's interesting is that here is what the Iranians have now said. It says, this is from Iranian state television, which again is controlled by the Ayatollah. If he tells them it's raining and it's a sunny day, they're going to report that it's raining. Okay, that's just the way it works. Said that they're sending the massive thing. They have admitted to 3,117 people that have been killed since December 27th. That is a lie. Okay, it is triple, quadruple, quintuple, whatever. It's a lot more than that. So the foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, I think his name is, also issued a threat to the United States, saying that, quote, the Islamic Republic will be, quote, firing back with everything we have if we come under a renewed attack. Goes on to continue to say, unlike the restraint Iran showed in June of 2025, let's just stop it right there. There was no restraint. You were restrained because we dismantled your defense missile capabilities, and that's exactly what we will do again, okay? So you're not shooting off nuclear weapons, you're not shooting off missiles, you're not shooting off anything. And by the way, just to save face with your own stupid people, and your people aren't stupid, but your people that believe in you and the mullahs and the clerics and everybody else, you had to save face with them. So what did you do? Well, you were allowed to fire off a few missiles so you can pat yourselves on the back. You're weak, you're pathetic, and you're on your way out, okay? And we're going to see to it. So he says, our powerful armed forces have no qualms about firing back with everything we have if we come under a renewed attack, Aaron Gochi wrote, referring to the 12-day war launched by Israel on Iran in June. This isn't a threat, but a reality I feel I need to convey explicitly because as a diplomat and a veteran, I abhor war, he said. All-out confrontation will certainly be ferocious and will drag on far longer than the fantasy timelines that Israel and its proxies are trying to peddle to the White House. It will certainly engulf the wider region and have an impact on ordinary people around the globe. We know you're full of shit, okay? Because you never would have allowed the United States to take out your nuclear facilities if you had the capability of stopping us. So we don't buy your propaganda, we don't buy your threats, and that's why you're all going to be dead. That's right, dead, as in laying down in the ground, pushing up daisies pretty damn soon. When? I don't know. Could be a week, could be 2 weeks, could be a month, could be 2 months, could be 3 months. I have no idea. I guess it really depends on whether or not President Trump decides that time is up, or that you piss him off, or you do something that he said you shouldn't do, which of course you're terrorists, so why wouldn't you do those things, right? But I think it's pretty comical. It's actually comic relief that Iran thinks that they can do absolutely anything to the United States. You can't even get your missiles to launch, you idiots, because we have the technology that you don't have. Israel has the technology that you don't have, and therefore, collectively speaking, you don't have a shot. You're not going to get any missiles to even be fired off, and even if you do, they have the Iron Dome, okay? So this whole notion that somehow the might of the Iranian regime will come down upon the United States and Israel, that's what I say to that, okay? So to the people of Iran, the protesters, I would just say keep going. Just keep going. Eventually, something's going to happen. We do have your back. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet, but promises made, promises kept is usually a good thing to go by with President Trump. Maybe there's just a delay. Maybe there's some tactical delays for a reason. Maybe they're getting more assets in the area and region. Maybe they're working more in concert with the IDF, Mossad, and the Israeli military. I don't know. I'm not in the administration, so I can't tell you. All I can tell you is from the sources that I have. Clearly, something is going to happen. And I said the same exact thing when there was that big buildup in Venezuela. I got in front of the camera and I said, I don't know when. I don't know when it's going to happen. Could be weeks, could be months. I don't know, but it's going to happen. And sure enough, right around the beginning of the year, boom, the extraction with Maduro. I said at the time, I didn't think he was going to make it to Christmas. Okay, fine. I was a week off. Sorry about that. Bottom line is, this is going to be big. This is going to shut down this regime. Remember, the real is gone. They have no currency whatsoever, okay? So they're sitting ducks. This is the weakest the Iranian regime has ever been, ever, since they came to power. And even then, they weren't very weak because they came in and they just took over and did what they did. So keep praying for the people of Iran, the protesters, the good people that we want to live and we want to prosper and want to have good lives. And let's see what happens, as President Trump says. I think something's going to happen, but it could take a couple more weeks or even a couple of months, but I think something's going to happen. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.